If the main character is so good at imitation, so the main character played by Joaquin Phoenix, that he fools a husband into thinking a letter was written by his wife, does the main character thereby become the man's wife? Yes or no? And everyone's answering no, which is I think fair enough. All right. So the answer is no. All right. So this mustache guy, it's not because he fools the husband into thinking that he's wife that he thereby becomes his wife. In reality, is the husband more alone or less alone? Like, it's supposed to be a marriage of 15 years. He's supposed to get this letter from his alleged wife, but it turns out it's some guy that he's never met with this kind of like Movember mustache who's sitting at some computer desk, and folks are writing more alone. And I'm going to it's not a poll or anything, but I'm tempted to agree. And we're just going to record that. I'm just going to underline that. So in reality, the husband is more alone or less alone. I could have also asked, is the husband more pathetic or less pathetic, right? And you could probably say something like more pathetic. Like, that's wow. All right, so we've established a couple things. Let me put my no back here because I switched slides. And I think our intuitions are on the right track here. We're tracking something important, and I think I'm going to agree with you on this. All right. So now let's have a look, and this is why this is a good movie, because it's kind of doing a lot of work for me. All right, let's ask this question. If the computer program, the OS there that's played by Scarlett Johansson, if the computer program is so good at imitation that it fools the main character into thinking he has a girlfriend, does the computer program thereby become his girlfriend? And this is interesting. Like, why weren't we saying this earlier? So let me read what I have in the chat bar so far. No, yes. To him, yes. Yes, he starts getting emotionally dependent on her. Yes, yes. Under those circumstances, no. Why weren't we saying all of those things a moment ago? Like, let's go over that question, right? If the main character is so good at imitation that he fools a husband into thinking a letter was written by his wife, does the main character thereby become that man's wife? Why weren't we saying to him, yes, or yes, he starts getting emotionally dependent on the letter writer? Why weren't we answering those things? You could easily have a situation where Samantha's actually some guy on the other side. Like, had any of you noticed that? There's this kind of weird, it's a comment on his own situation. He screws other people by faking, and he's the object of the fakery as well. He is exactly, this is the brilliance of this movie. It spills the beans. Like, the first 3 minutes, it basically gives you the interpretive key to understand the rest of the movie. Like, what does he do? He is in the business of tricking people into thinking they have a relationship with a real human when in fact they only have a relationship with a piece of paper. Like, well, you're not interested in a piece of paper. You're interested in the person you're hoping wrote the piece of paper. Like, if you get a letter from, I don't know, someone that matters to you, you're hoping it's from the person that matters to you. The letter itself is a piece of paper with ink. You want a piece of paper with ink? It's easy. That's not a problem. But if someone that matters to you writes it, you're not interested in the piece of paper with the ink. And Samuel says, I noticed it as an illustration of how society has become fake, but I hadn't picked up on the irony of how it came back around to him. That's right. He's literally a participant in the very mechanism of deception and trickery and illusion and mimicry and imitation that he is on the receiving end of that. And even more problematically, because it's not even, I don't even think there's Joe Blow in Iowa with a cap. Like, it's just a computer. So what goes in is language. What comes out? So there's a speaker as well. So there's a microphone that records, and there's a speaker. What comes out of the device? So yeah, artificially generated responses expressed as, the fact that they come out is, yeah, in language. This is what we're looking at. This is a device for transforming language into other language. The language in this case is English to English. You put in a claim, you put in a piece of language, and out comes something. So let's have some fun with this. What happens if I've got the Samantha OS, and I say, because I'm concerned, I just took this class, and it's messing with me, and I ask it, do you really love me? What will it answer? That's the input. And what comes out, what's Samantha going to answer? So I asked Samantha, because I took this class, it's starting to mess with my mind. And I said, the prof suggested you might not be real. Do you really love me? What's Samantha going to answer? Of course I love you, honey. How reassured are you that This is tracking love, that there's love. How does that piece of language that comes out, how reassuring is that she really loves you? Hey, you know what? The husband, H over here, right? He starts to worry that this might be faking. So the husband writes a letter. There's the pen pal service. The husband writes a letter back to his wife, and he says, honey, are you the one writing this letter? What's the letter he's going to get back from the company? What's the letter going to say? I would never lie. How's that?